children, today we are going to do Bangle Sellers by Sarojini Naidu. So before we start, let's have an idea about Sarojini Naidu. She was a great poet and author. She was a great writer, Indian writer, and she has made a lot of contribution to Indian literature. And she has also been a governor of one of the Indian states that was in Uttar Pradesh, and she has written a number of poems. One of those poems is Bangle Seller. And so let's start with the poem straight away. Bangle sellers are we who bear our shining loads to temple fair. Who will buy these delicate, bright, rainbow-tinted circles of light, lustrous tokens of radiant lives for happy daughters and happy wives? So in this poem, the poet considers herself as a bangle seller, and then she says, bangle sellers are we who bear, means who carry the heavy loads of shining bangles to the temple fair, because they get lots of customer over there, because people come and see the bangles and they buy. And she also asks, who will buy these delicate, bright, rainbow-tinted circles of light? So she has compared the bangles with the rainbow-tinted circles of light, okay? Because the bangles are very colorful, and then she asks, who are going to buy these delicate, bright, and rainbow-like colorful bangles, okay? And she calls it lustrous tokens of radiant lives for happy daughters and happy wives. So she calls it lustrous tokens because they are very shiny, and then tokens because it brings happiness to the lives of the Indian daughters and Indian wives, okay? So whenever the women, in the Indian women, they wear the bangles, it brings some kind of happiness or some kind of excitement in their heart. So that is why she calls it the lustrous tokens of radiant lives for happy daughters and happy wives. Let's move on to the second stanza. Some are meet for a maiden's wrist, silver and blue as the mountain mist. Some are flushed like the buds that dream on the tranquil brow of a woodland stream. Some are aglow with the bloom that cleaves to the limpid glory of newborn leaves. Okay, so in this stanza, in the second stanza, the poet starts describing the different categories or different types of bangles, and side by side she also describes the different stages that women go through in their lives. Alright, so in this stanza she describes the maiden stage of the women, and she also talks about the bangles that are suitable for them. Alright, so here she says that some of the bangles are just perfect and suitable for maidens to wear, and those bangles are usually silver and blue in color. And the color of these bangles have been compared to the mist that we usually see in the mountain areas. Okay, and some other bangles are flushed, they are little red, just like the buds that dream in the tranquil brow, means they are just like the buds that we usually see in the calm weather or calm environment found in the areas near the stream in the forest. And some other bangles are very, very bright, means aglow, means some are very bright, just like the flowers that have already bloomed, okay? Some are aglow with the bloom that cleaves, and then they also make the clanging sounds, all right? And some other bangles are just very clear, they are very clear and they are very transparent, just like the newborn leaves, because the newborn leaves, if you see the baby leaves, they are a little transparent, isn't it? So some bangles are even transparent like that. Here we are going to discuss about the bride. Okay, the poet has described the relation between the bride and her and the bangles which she wears. All right, so now let's read it. Some are like fields of sunlit corn, meet for a bride on her bridal morn. Some like the flame of her marriage fire, or rich with hue of her heart's desire, tinkling, luminous, tender and clear, like her bridal laughter and bridal tear. So here, in the first two lines, the poet says that some of the bangles are very, very bright. Okay, and they are compared with the sunlit cornfields. Corns, as you know, they are yellow in color, and when they are struck by sunlight, They look very bright, isn't it? So some bangles are so bright that they look like sunlit cornfield. And these bangles are suitable for the brides. Okay, they can wear it in the morning of their wedding day. Now the next line, some like the flame of her marriage fire, or rich with the hue of her heart's desire. And here again the poet has made a comparison. Some are even compared with the sacred fire that is set for pharaohs during marriage ceremony, because they look very bright. And some are red in color. When a woman gets married and comes to husband's house, she has lots of dreams and desires in her heart, right? And the color of her bangles, that is red color, looks so intense that it has been compared to the intense desire of a heart. Okay, so in this way, the poet has compared the red colored bangles with the desire of a heart, because both of them are very intense. Now let's look at the last two lines. Tinkling, luminous, tender and clear, like her bridal laughter and bridal tear. So these bangles which the brides wear, they make tinkling sounds, and they are very luminous, and they are tender and clear. Luminous means shiny, and tender means delicate or brittle, and clear here means transparent or clear. All right, so these bangles which brides wear are make tinkling sounds. They are luminous or shiny, they are brittle and tender, and they are very clear. And these characteristics of the bangles have been compared to bridal laughter and bridal tear. All right, so when a bride gets married, when a woman gets married and comes to her husband's house, she is very happy, isn't it? She is very happy, and in the day of her wedding, when people go to attend their wedding, the people, they notice what the bride wears and what the bride does, isn't it? So each and everything that bride does is very noticeable. That's why here also bridal laughter is also very noticeable. And the similarly, the luminous characteristic of the luminous and tinkling characteristic of the bangle is also very noticeable, right? So here the characteristics of the bangles like tinkling and luminous have been compared with the bridal laughter. And here again clear, they say that it is very tender and clear. Now in the wedding day, the woman has a mixed feeling. She is very happy, as well as at the same time she is very sad. Why? Because when she is getting married, she gets a new family, and she is starting a new life. She is entering into a new phase of life, so she is very happy, and then we can see her laughter. But on the other side, she is sad because she is going to leave her family and house and going to enter a completely new phase of life. Okay, so she is a little bit tensed and she is a little bit sad because she needs to leave her dear ones and go to the new house. Okay, so that is the reason that her eyes are filled with tears on her wedding day, and her tears clearly show the emotions that are hidden in her heart, isn't it? So the tears clearly show her emotions. That is why the tear of the bride is compared with the clarity that we see in the bangles. All right, so the tinkling, luminous, tender and clear, these are the characteristics of the bangles, and these have been compared to the bridal laughter and bridal tears. Moving on to the last stanza. Summer purple and gold-flaked grey, for she who has journeyed through life midway, whose hands have cherished, whose love has blessed, and cradled fair sons on her faithful breast, and serves her household in fruitful pride, and worships the God at her husband's side. So here in this stanza, the poet talks about the women who have lived half their lives and they are in the middle stage. All right, they have already passed the maiden stage, they have already been a bride, they have given birth to their children, they have raised their children, and they have lived half their lives. So let's see line by line. Some are purple and gold-flecked grey. So some of the bangles are purple and some are gray with some flecks on it. Okay, and these bangles are for whom? For she who has journeyed through life midway. So these bangles are suitable for the women who have lived half their lives, and these women have made so many memories. That is said in the third line, whose hands have cherished, whose love has blessed, and cradled fair sons on her faithful breast. So these women who wear these kind of bangles, the purple and gray colored bangles, these women have lived half their lives, and they have been many phases of life, and they when they lived these phases, they have made so many memories that they can cherish throughout their lives. All right, and they are in such a stage, after living many phases, they have reached a middle age, and they are in such a stage where they are older to other people, and they can even bless the younger ones. And they have also cradled, means they have held their sons close to their heart, and they have raised their children by giving out all the love that they could. Okay, and serves her household in fruitful pride. So even after doing so many duties in her life, she still continues to work hard, doing all the household things to keep her family happy, and she works very hard for the well-being of her family. Okay, and whatever she does, she takes pride in doing all those things. And even after doing all those things, she is given little importance in the society, because the central position is given to the male members in Indian society. That is depicted in the last line, and worships the gods at her husband's side. So in this line, they say that the women, they are given the position that is at the side of her husband. They never get the central position, because in India we have patriarchal society, and the male members are given more importance or the central position in the society. And even after doing all these things, all the hard works, she gets a position that is at the side of her husband. So in the last stanza, the poet has also reflected on the patriarchal nature of Indian society. Okay, so let's sum it up. In this poem, we discussed about 3 stages that women have to go through in their lives. So the first one was maiden stage. The second one, in the second stanza, we have discussed about bridal stage, where she gets married, and in the last stanza we have discussed about middle-aged women who has been through 2 major stages of life, and now she is living her 3rd stage of life. Okay, now when she is middle-aged. Okay, so that was about bangle sellers. Thank you.